Hello guys, today I'm going to be showing you how to make a twisted canthal wire coil with 28 gauge canthal wire. All I've done here is I've taken myself a little piece about 30 centimeters long and I've just folded it over on itself, so just overlapped it and twisted the two ends together. Ideally, if you've got a drill bit that will fit, use that. I'm going to use a pair of tweezers just to hold it into the drill so that I can spin it. So this end's going in the drill and this end I'm going to hold on to with a pair of pliers. Really, you're just going to want to twist until it snaps. Put a little bit of tension on there, not too much tension. You don't want to snap it before it's been twisted. So basically, any direction, it doesn't really matter. There we go. Now, if you've ever handled 28 gauge canthal wire, you know that it's really flimsy. This is actually standing up on its own. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to wrap the untidy end around the handle of one of these mini screwdrivers, and that whole thing is going to be inserted into the drill to hold it together. Now you can do this manually, but I find I get it a lot tighter by using this drill, and you just want to give it quite a hard tug and just let it go. That's it. And there you have made the beginning of your first coil. So just untwist that gnarly end while stabbing yourself in the finger with it. Ouch. Unavoidable when you're working with wire like this. You're going to get pricked in the finger. So I'm going to start by taking out my old coils. They're dirty, one's broken, they're old. I've never really used this mod. I mean, I lent it out to someone for about 3 months and ended up getting it back because I traded it, because I missed it. I traded it for a variable voltage device. Yeah, I could have bought another one, but this was the first hammer mod I ever owned, so I don't know if it's just me, but vapors tend to get a little bit attached to certain things. So yeah, basically, we're just going to thread that through. The plume veil's pretty good with the size of their holes on their posts, so there's never really a need to drill them out, especially if you're twisting 28 just the one time. But yeah, yep, I'm pretty sure you just saw the tongue poke out. So that's it. I'm not going to fire this, obviously. I'm going to test it first, but I tend to build on the actual mod as opposed to on the ohm reader. Just straighten this coil out. Not much focus going on there. And as it's twisted, you can generally tighten it down a lot harder than you would with standard 28 gauge wire, as it's now thicker. Just take this off the mod. Ideally cut that wire first. Onto the ohm meter it goes. I'm going to poke my eye out with this piece of wire. Bear with me. Just get that aside. Okay, we're looking good. .69. Now we're going to get that down via heating and squeezing to get that coil even tighter together and get it a little bit straightened out. Bear in mind also, when you add a second coil for a dual coil setup, you half your ohms again. So if that was coming out at 7 and I would stick another coil in that's got exactly the same amount of wraps, it should come out at around 3.5 or 0.35. But yeah, we'll give it a little pulse fire. And the whole idea of twisting it is not only just to make it thicker, but it's so you get more surface area than using, say, bog standard 24 gauge wire, which just has one surface clean all the way through it, which is good, but it's never going to be as good as twisted in my opinion. So we're gonna heat this up, being very careful because we are using metal pliers to let go of the button. And yeah, you want to put slight pressure on it just to hold it together. Don't over squeeze it. Do you know what? I'm going to do a second coil, as I want this on a really sub-ohm level. So I'm just going to repeat that process to get another coil from the rest of the wire that I've got, and we'll give it another read. So I've got the second coil in there now. I've just literally got to fire it up and give it another squeeze. Same process all over again basically. Make sure it's not touching the sides or the deck. I'm just in the process of wicking this baby up using Japanese cotton. I won't use anything else anymore, as it is the best. So yeah, that's them wicked. Just snip off the 2 ends, 4 ends in this case. There she blows. Got some homemade liquid here, which is 100% VG, so we can get the biggest clouds. And yeah, you can see how thick this stuff is. It's like glue. Finally got her chucking it out. Stick the cap on and give it a blast. Not bad for the first initial hit. Oh, I think there's some nicotine in there. Woo. Okay, wow, that is good. Flavour's good. There's not a lot of heat as well. I was expecting more heat to come through. Because they're twisted, they tend to stay hotter for longer. So when you let go of the button, they're still going, which is a pain in the arse because you're just wasting juice basically. You have a puff after just dripping, put it down, and it's still hot and it's still evaporating your juice or turning it into vape. But if you want big vapor production, twisted cantha wire is definitely the way to go. So yeah, that is it. That is my attempt at a twisted cantha wire coil, dual coil setup. And yeah, I'm pleased. I'm impressed. I think that's pretty good compared to the ones that I've tried in the past that I've actually purchased. Yeah, you can do just the same thing at home with a drill and a bit of wire. So yeah, get on it. Have a go. Let me know. Cheers.